And hello again. Here's part 7 in our continuing series on what started with palm trees, and this one doesn't have many palm trees anymore. This one is continuing on the discussion about the background skies. So let me take a quick snapshot of this and I'll explain what I'm going to focus on this one. Store image. There you go. Alright, so what we basically did is we created, just like in the prior tutorial in part 6, we created a couple of skies. This one here, this one had a little bit too much elevation. I can blur it with Gaussian blur. A couple of other skies, and then what I did also is composite those. So last time we looked at how to combine them, and now I'd like to show another technique, which is to composite them, so that if you have something like this one in the background, and I'm going to copy that into the swap buffer, right? Copy to the swap image, and you can always switch to that with J for jump. You can see looking at the swap buffer, and then J for jump back to the main buffer. Now I'm putting, let's say, this image in here, right? So again, you can jump to the swap image, and you're looking now at the swap image, and that's this gradient sky, and then J for jump back to the main buffer. You can verify that up here you're on the main buffer. All right, so in fact you'll see it change here in the right corner too as you go and look at it. This is showing the bigger icon here in the upper right corner is showing you a thumbnail of the current image that you're looking at. And so what I'd like to do is not combine them like this. That's of course a really nice result too, but I'd like to keep this whitish color, and then wherever it's blue I want to show the other image behind it, the one that's in the swap image, this one here, right? And so that might be another layer of clouds, or like something like this, or it might be the gradient. So let's see how that works. That's basically filter, let's see, render, excuse me, right then there, composite, right? Instead of the combine where we did the mix buffers and some of the other luminance based or additive or whatnot, try the composite with swap. And if you have in fact a very bluish color as the background sky here, then use blue screen, but you can also use color key. So we'll experiment with both of these. And then the idea is that you can use that to see behind the clouds the sky that's gradient essentially coming through from the swap buffer. So you can adjust how much of that blending you want, or how much of that selection. You can also show the matte, and that gives you another another great set of choices as far as cloud skies and cloud sky colors. So again, here's one way to do it, right? So this is one image that we created with the terrain modeler, or with the 3D designer, upside down, and created these cloud patterns. And then we did this one here as well, and let's combine them together. So this one we'll say will be at lower elevation. This one will be at higher elevation, way above. The sun has not gone too low yet, and it's still showing some white, whereas this one is already being illuminated by the sun only from underneath it. So we'll put this one to make it look like this one is at lower elevation. This one we want to have at higher elevation. So we'll put this one in the swap buffer, and we'll put that right there, copy that to the swap image. Again, shortcut Shift J, uppercase J. That will be a good way to go faster. And then we have this one here, which is going to be have, give the appearance of being at lower elevation, and we'll just composite the two now. And so that will be right here, composite with swap and the blue screen. So now you see that the image from the swap buffer is showing through with the sky there, with the white clouds, and you can adjust, some of that blue screening or matte cutting there as well. All right, and you can again see the matte. Sometimes even that is just a great image to keep as well. But let's OK that and then store that. So that's a snapshot you definitely want to keep. And perhaps we'll want to recomposite that, because we still have the blue sky here, and you'd like to perhaps get yet another one. Like for instance, this one here, we have some other, looks like cirrus clouds, flattened, thin ones. So let's put that one in. Hold on, let's, which one did we just capture? This one here, yeah, okay. So let's put this one in the background. There will be, again, Shift J, right? put it in the swap buffer, then put this one here above it or on top, and simply go back to the composite with blue screen. And so now we have yet another combination of two different images. And you can see that, you know, you do this with 2 or 3 different images or gradients also, and in no time you'll have new types of clouds and just awesome background content to use for your compositions, whether you paint on it, just like something like this here, or whether you use the 3D designer for the bottom below the horizon with the terrain generation. Lots of different ways to use that. And so let's perhaps finish this one up here with a little bit of a painting. One idea would be to perhaps start with one of the pastels, a tempera, the rake brush. I like that one because it's kind of wild. It's not too well contained. Now you can go here and just give it sort of a basic tone. Perhaps use the right button as well for an alternate color. Just give it a little bit of a earth tone down there. If you have the sun or the moon shining here, maybe there's a bit of reflection on the bottom. And so soon enough you have a little bit of a feature showing up here. And what I'll do next is, let's see, let's do a couple of more here. Let's go to the particle brushes. And one thing we could do here is perhaps use the winter, let's use these, the particle brushes, and use load the winter branches. There you go. And get a couple of these up here on this side, a couple more on that side. Right, and then it's time perhaps to get our baddie grass. There you go. And put some of that in the foreground. There you go. And let's switch over to the foliage system with a few more options there. Perhaps paint the grass painter. I like that one too, to give a couple of additional big helms, tall helm of grass, something like that. And let's finish it off with some evergreen. Let's see what that one does. Oh, there you go, beautiful. Of course, that covers up the entire sky. Maybe we don't want that much, so let's keep it a little bit in reason on the side. There you go, on this side. Tiny little one here. That will do. Last little touch. Let's see if we can get something a little bit lower here. Yeah, there's one that will be more on the ground. All right. But anyway, that gives you hopefully some ideas on what else you can do to create your own skies and combine those different layers of clouds by using the compositing feature. Composite, where in this case we use the blue screen, but you know, if you use the regular key, what you can do is you can actually go here and pick the color that you want to use for the compositing. So it's doing not necessarily a blue screen compositing. It might be you know, whatever the color is that you have in the background that you're picking, right? So all sorts of other ways to get even more intriguing results. And thanks for watching. We'll see you soon with some other tutorials on using PD Howler or PD Artist 8.2.